Imagine, for a moment, that everything you thought you knew about our planet, its very shape, its natural order, has been inverted. Imagine the oceans, once vast and endless, are now colossal, suspended bodies of water, hanging like thick clouds above a twisted land. The mountains, once majestic pinnacles of the Earth's crust, now rise above the sea, their peaks cutting through the atmosphere. Valleys and plains, where life once flourished, have become deep trenches beneath the water's surface. What would life on Earth look like if our world's topography was reversed, its very geography rewritten? In this version of Earth, nothing is familiar. The sky is no longer clear and empty, but heavy with the weight of oceans, holding the power to reshape everything beneath them. The mountains we know, towering high and intimidating in their reach, are now land masses thrust upward from the deep like enormous islands, rising up to meet an alien sky. As you look at this inverted world, the very laws of nature appear to bend in ways you've never thought possible. The oceans in this world are not simply a liquid expanse beneath us. They have become formidable, suspended giants in the sky. These vast bodies of water hang above us, their size so immense that they dwarf the land below. This new sky ocean challenges the very limits of physics, where gravity's influence is disrupted, allowing water to defy the forces that once kept it grounded. How is it possible for such vast seas to remain suspended in the air without collapsing into the depths of the land below? This question becomes fundamental to the strange new nature of this inverted world. The gravity that once tethered the oceans to the planet's surface now works in reverse, suspended by unknown forces. If we peer into this sky ocean, what we see are not clouds, but rolling waves that span miles in every direction, each one constantly shifting and breaking as the sea hovers above. With this new structure, the environment becomes hostile and wondrous, where rain falls not from clouds, but from the oceans themselves, descending with torrents that reshape the land below. What once lay beneath the surface of the seas, the undersea mountains, the valleys, the hidden plateaus, is now the territory of what we might call the new ocean floor, forever submerged beneath the water's surface. Imagine the bottom of the oceans as great ridges and chasms stretching endlessly, now lying deep under the towering waters, their secrets waiting to be unlocked by only the most daring explorers. In this inverted reality, aquatic life has evolved in unimaginable ways, born from an environment where the pressures of the depths are reversed. Creatures that once roamed the shallows of our oceans now glide in the profound darkness of what was once the terrestrial ground. Their bodies have evolved to withstand the oppressive pressures of the water, and perhaps, just as we have in our world, these species have evolved unique abilities to adapt to the lack of sunlight, perhaps even bioluminescence, to navigate the world of perpetual twilight. But what we do not know is how this inversion has impacted the evolution of life itself. What if the creatures of these inverted oceans are not only adapted to survive in the extreme conditions, but have become entirely alien to us? Life that has evolved without sunlight, without the forces of tidal movement we rely on for energy. Could we even recognize the creatures that now populate this new sky ocean? Above the sky ocean, the inverted land stretches endlessly, a stark contrast to the familiar rolling hills and plains we know. Here, massive mountains rise, not as humble peaks, but as islands of colossal rock, thrust into the atmosphere by tectonic forces unimaginable to us. Their jagged, sharp edges now form cliffs that rise higher than any mountain on Earth today. an eerie reminder of the violent forces that must have shaped them. The valleys, once nestled comfortably between mountains, now lie deep beneath the water, swallowed by the oceans. There is no longer any low ground to inhabit. The land above, exposed to the sky and unprotected by the waters, has evolved differently. Rivers, now flowing upward from the ocean, cut down from great heights, feeding life to strange forests that cling precariously to the edges of cliffs. These strange plants must have adapted in strange ways to survive in such harsh conditions, their roots clinging desperately to the high rock surfaces, perhaps drawing nourishment from the mist or the minerals of the atmosphere itself. Life on the surface would be in constant danger. Rivers fall from great heights, while landslides and rockfalls could erase entire ecosystems in moments. But life here thrives, finding niches in the most unlikely of places. It would need to evolve incredible resilience. Plants with roots that can grow against gravity's pull, animals that can scale cliffs or leap from one precipice to another. It is a world where balance is everything, and every creature must live on the edge, quite literally. This inverted Earth would have a climate unlike any we've ever known. The oceans, no longer acting as a buffer to stabilize temperature, become a force that exacerbates extremes. Without the oceans to mediate the heat of the sun, this new Earth experiences wild shifts in temperature. The land that once enjoyed the temperate cycles of day and night now faces blistering heat during the daylight hours, as the rays of the sun strike the exposed surfaces with brutal intensity, while the evenings would plunge into a freezing cold, as the lack of oceanic moisture causes the air to cool rapidly. Storms, too, would be unlike anything we recognize. With oceans hanging suspended in the sky and the land subjected to violent winds and temperature extremes, hurricanes would be a constant threat, swirling between the mountains, drawing moisture from the suspended oceans, and turning into unpredictable, destructive forces. These weather patterns would be stronger, faster, and more violent, ever changing in the face of the unpredictable forces of this inverted world. How, then, would humanity survive in this upside-down world? Civilization, as we know it, would need to rethink everything, from how to build shelter to how to sustain life. Cities would no longer be built on flat plains or coastal regions. Instead, humanity would have to adapt to life in the sky, literally. Cities could be perched on the edges of cliffs, hanging suspended over the sky ocean like impossible fortresses. Or perhaps we would build floating cities, rising and falling with the winds and tides of the suspended seas. Our technology would evolve not around controlling the land, but around harnessing the vast power of the suspended oceans above and the extreme forces of this new environment. Wind energy, atmospheric harvesting, and even the manipulation of water from the sky ocean could become the core of human existence. Without fertile plains to grow crops, agriculture might shift toward vertical farming, cultivated on the cliffs or in controlled domes, where sunlight is scarce, but innovation thrives. Could we live above the clouds, alongside these strange new ecosystems? How would humanity deal with the constant threat of violent storms, the need for protection from the immense pressure of the sky ocean, and the challenges of sustaining life in such a precarious environment? Would we find new ways to commune with nature, or would we simply struggle against the forces that try to overwhelm us? In a world turned upside down, survival depends not just on human will, but on the ability to adapt to an alien world. In this inverted Earth, everything we know, oceans, land, weather, becomes a constant puzzle, a challenge we must confront over and over again. What would we sacrifice to survive here? And what could we discover in the process? Could we learn to live not only on this inverted Earth, but with it? What are the limits of human ingenuity? And where will our imagination take us next?